Welcome back. Now, a major Turkish business association is calling on President Erdogan's government to abandon its current economic policies, blaming them for the ongoing market turmoil. The group TÜSİAD said that interest rate cuts by the central bank had weakened the currency and was destabilizing the entire economy. Well, for more on that, we're joined by Dr. Aykan Erdemir, a former member of the Turkish parliament and now the senior director at the Turkey program at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Thank you very much for joining us. So first of all then, how do you think President Erdogan will respond to these criticism of his economic policies?
Now, on two fronts, Erdogan will not take this lightly, will not welcome these comments. On the one hand, Erdogan has fought a long, hard battle against TÜSİAD, seeing them as Turkey's established pro-secular, pro-Western business community. And over the last 2 decades, he has built an alternative business people's association, bringing together his Islamist business friends and colleagues. Moreover, Erdogan does not take it lightly when business people attack his inflationary policies. That is, Erdogan subscribes to an unorthodox economic policy. He fights inflation not by raising interest rates, which is the common economic wisdom, but by lowering interest rates, which has caused hyperinflation as well as the devaluation of the Turkish lira. And now that TÜSİAD has warned the Erdogan government to follow basic teachings of the economic science, Erdogan will strike them as being a special interest group, as attempting a coup. And we have already seen such accusations in the pro-government media.
And the reality is the Turkish economy is going from bad to worse, isn't it? As you mentioned, prices are rising extremely rapidly, hurting ordinary Turks. You've got a weak currency as well. So why is Erdogan so determined to pursue these policies? What is the upside?
Now, there are, again, two reasons why Erdogan has been obsessed with lowering interest rates. He comes from an Islamist background, which sees interest rates not only as being against Islam, but at the same time, Erdogan sees this as one big conspiracy theory. So it is his anti-Semitic teachings, which he calls, the fight against the interest rate lobby. And at the same time, Erdogan has an inner circle of business friends, especially construction bosses, who need these low interest rates to keep the real estate bubble going, to keep their businesses going. So this is where ideology, Islamist ideology, meets special economic interests. And Erdogan's insistence, of course, has been disastrous. Turkish lira has lost over 55% of its value this year. Inflation has already reached double digits and is heading towards 30% next year. And so Erdogan's insistence is really taking its toll on the Turkish economy and its people.
Well, what about Erdogan's moves to strengthen ties with other countries? With the UAE, of course, they had a meeting recently. He's also planning an economic summit with African countries. Is that his way of trying to boost the economy? Might that have a positive impact?
Now, this is too little too late. On the one hand, Erdogan is really trying to, launch a rapprochement process with, Israel, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. But so much trust has been lost on those fronts that it will be really a long, painful process. At the same time, Erdogan sees Africa as a new opening for the Turkish economy. He has made inroads into Africa. But what he doesn't realize is exports to Africa is only a very minor part of Turkey's exports. And Turkey's industry and economy and finance depend to a large extent not only trade with the European Union and North America, but also capital inflows from the West. So Africa could be a supplementary market for Turkey, but it will not offer the kind of cure-all that Erdogan is seeking.
Dr. Erdemir, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for having me.